Hey folks, I'm so sorry about that. I was having some latency issues broadcasting earlier, but that's not a big deal. Instead, what we're going to do is keep this show rolling. I'm popped into Reason, and I'm going to basically just be kind of building out a track here that I've been working on. I've basically sketched out the whole thing, but I haven't really arranged it. So I'm going to start doing that on this stream. If you have any questions, please feel free to drop them in the chat. I know Dave was in here earlier, and I'm sorry I didn't see you because everything was glitching out, but I really hope this is working. So let me just start by playing this, what I've got so far, the parts, sort of a, I don't know, jazzy, down-tempo-y, I don't know, also Latin, Brazilian thing. So let's start with playing it. And so this track consists of a few different drum loops, which we'll just kind of isolate, and then a main, like Rhodes part, a few synths, and two guitar parts that I recorded, one chords and one kind of a lick. I still need to add a bass to this. And so, I mean, the Mega Dance song, maybe it'll get us there. We'll see. So let's just listen to a few of the loops. These are from... I've just transposed it down a little bit. Then we've got some tambourine. And we've got that panned all the way over. And we've got a percussion groove. Then we've got this Rhodes part here. And so that's sort of the foundation of the song. The first thing I should do as we start to think about arranging this is to copy these various Dr. Rex parts to the sequencer so that we don't have to we can actually arrange them. And I want to make sure I do each one of them in their own respective sequencer channels so they don't trigger each other. And if you have any questions along the way, just please drop them in the chat and I'll be happy to answer them. I know there's a bit of a lag, unfortunately, but just, don't hesitate to ask any questions. Let me know where you're from as well, and if the weather's decent there. I'm in DC, and we finally seems like full spring has been in bloom. It's sort of been like one day you have the heater on, the next day you have the windows open, and the next day you have the air conditioner on. But I think we're finally getting there. So I think I want to start this song with probably just the drums and the Rhodes. So let's just arrange it that way first and see what that gives us. I think that's a good start, and then we'll copy that over, and the next part we'll probably just add the Latin percussion. We don't need to copy it, we just want to, let's turn the loop off, and so now let's see what that sounds like as that comes in. In a real mix, that would slowly fade in once I actually start getting to that point, but I'm just trying to get all the building blocks in place. And I think this can honestly probably go one more thing before it even starts to get boring, especially if I do some filtering on the drums. Maybe we'll have it sort of go like this. something like that. I'm imagining to make this build up interesting. And so now I think we want probably, we can have the guitar chords, which aren't really very well processed, and really not processed at all. And we probably won't have the guitar riff. I do just want to cut off, when I recorded this, a really smart way to save time when recording real instrument parts, if you think you're mostly going to loop them, is still to be sure to leave an ending hit so that you've got, but they should line up. And so that way, for the end of the song, those will be there. So let's see about now adding guitar chords here and this melody. Hey Briggs, how's it going, man? So now let's see what this first part, or this next part sounds like. And it's all just about pacing it so it gets more and more interesting. We probably don't need the tambourine in yet. That'll add a lot more energy, but I want to hold that back. And of course we turn the loop off at that point. But you can't really hear the guitar yet, so I got to do some processing on it. Let's just see what it sounds like. Doesn't sound like much of anything for some reason. What's going on here? Ah, that's because I've got the lick instead of the chords. Cool. That is not what I want here. I want the chords here instead. That explains a lot. And this then should also be part of the ending hit I was talking about earlier. So let's solo the chords again so we can hear them. So it's really clean, simple, and we will put, for now, just a little bit of warmth on it with, what is it? It's Native Instruments, guitar, rig 5. So I'm imagining some sort of like silver face twin here. Components, amplifier. I guess we could go with a tweed man. Now let's see what that's about right. A little more air. A little more. And I want to add, I think probably a bit of a like delay pedal in front of it. Probably just the basic tape man up top. Oh, come on now. So we'll get the delay going on, and we just want to insert it above. Okay, or we'll drag everything else below. And so. Now lower the feedback. This is about right. And so now I don't think for something like this I want to sync the tempo. I want it to be, I want it to have a vibe to it and be a little off. So I'm just kind of dialing in the time that feels natural. I want to just be a simple delay, but that's about it. Just a little less feedback. Let's listen to it. Probably put a vibrato on as well. Actually, a tremolo is probably better here. You would have figured that would be built into the cabinet. So just baby steps, sure. And a spring reverb. Does it on Guitar Rig? I've mostly been using the Logic amp stuff lately, so I am not familiar with it as familiar as I have been in the past. The trying reverb, maybe. There you go. Thanks, Briggs. That's probably the better way to go here, to be honest. Yeah, good call. This is really what I was trying to build out. You're totally right, yeah. Pull the bass. I'm using Reason right now, although the guitar stuff is coming from Native Instruments Guitar Rig, which is a really, I mean, it's a very good set of guitar amps and stuff. It's really flexible. It's probably not the best in the world, but it's pretty solid. And I have used it a lot in the past. But as I've used Logic more, I've just used the built-in stuff there because it's, I don't know, it's easier. I think we got to push the lead melody on the xylophone off to the side so that we can, even more maybe, it's just... I think maybe it needs a little longer delay time actually, even though I spent all that time dialing it in. That's it. Turn it down. It's just sort of back there in the background. So now we've got 3 parts of it. And we would probably repeat this twice, and then we'll do a breakdown. So repetition 1. Ultimately, I will program in some fills on these loops and stuff. It's really easy if you just get in here and like rearrange the slices. You can go like, well, I don't know. This loop might not be amenable to it. It sounds like there's a lot going on per slice. We'll see. But that's normally a thing I would do. So let's just get back to the full rack view. So we'll repeat this twice. Now we'll do a breakdown. Percussion. So we'll bring in the tambourine. We'll bring this in. We'll probably drop the drums. And let's see what this sounds like. I think I will copy the Rhodes part in, but I'm going to take out all of the lead stuff, so it'll just be the chords here. No passing tones or anything. Much less rhythmic. No, that's not going to get us quite where we want to be, but you guys will do. Yeah, I messed this part up here. You do not need to be that long. Same with up here. And you can be longer. And so can you. So now let's see what this breakdown sounds like. Probably put a filter on all of this and maybe like a whoosh. Let's see. I don't want to open loop cloud because there's a chance it'll crash everything, but probably I would look for like a sample that's like a rain stick or something and drop it in here. Actually, well, yeah, I'm not going to look it up because I don't want to crash the whole thing. Yeah, Reason, I still really enjoy Reason. It's fast. It's really good for this sort of thing. The places I don't like it is when it starts to bog down on bigger projects. But for something like this, I mean, I'm having fun with this. I would totally recommend checking it out, Howard. So now let's see about this. So now, as this breakdown builds... And let me think about automating these filters just for now so we can kind of feel what that would feel like. Turn on some resonance. And edit automation. I think this part of the automation is really a slick feature that Reason has. Much easier to do this, I think, than in other DAWs. I have tried Reaper, and it just did not speak to me at all. To me, probably, I would say Reason and Logic are kind of tied for my favorite DAWs. I really like Logic a lot, but for certain things, Reason is just a lot of fun. And let's also automate the filter on the clave, or on the percussion here. Bump up the low pass a little bit. And we'll just literally copy and paste it down. And so there's not a filter on the Rhodes, but I would ultimately also do that. We could even just, for this sake, probably turn on the phaser or the chorus for this part, and that would get us a lot of the way there. Just automate it to turn on. Yep, there it is. So we'll turn it off so that default automation won't be on. And then edit automation. Boom. Have it on for this part, and maybe it'll stay on for the rest after this. But so we're coming in here. I'll cut for these tails here. And this probably need the full piano back, or the full guitar part back, because the drums come in and I like how that hits. Probably going to want some distortion on this drum, some tape saturation so they sound kind of blown out. Sketch cassette is the first thing that I would reach for that, but Sketch cassette doesn't work in Reason because it's VST3 and Reason doesn't support VST3, so grumble. I've heard great things about Studio One Briggs, and I would totally recommend checking it out. I personally, $2 is more than enough for me, but if you're discontent, I've heard really good things, so definitely check it out, especially if you're not on a Mac. Let's just get this lick right. Seems like I recorded it with just a touch too much delay, but whatever. Just do some basic processing on it. I want to throw a compressor on it, and I'm going to turn to my trusty, even though this is going to end up being, I still need to record the bass, and this is going to cause some issues for that with latency. Where's my 1176? Yes, have not activated those yet here, but we'll just go with the legacy. So we'll just do sort of a, I think we probably want to just take off the attack, but let's see. That's it. Batten it up. Hi, Navi. How's it going? So yeah, we've got too much on right now, so we'll just bring it back down. But I like to have an extreme amount of compression on first so I can feel what the right settings are, and then back it down by a ratio. Now I'm really regretting recording it with so much delay because it kind of is becoming grainy because it's baked in, and then having that reverb, or having that and reverb on it, and so having the compression is sort of messing it up, but that's still fine. Okay, and now for sort of the crescendo part. So we'll take all of this. Let's just drop a razor here so we can make sure it doesn't work. Now I'm going to copy all of this in. Let's move this back. Crikey. So grab all this. And now, I don't even know what this saw is, to be honest. Let's see what this sounds like. That's the bass sub, and that's not the one I really want. That's right. We'll leave it in for now, but really I think I'm going to play a real bass. But I should have you in just the whole time, pretty much, for keeping this going. And so now, how long is this? This is a minute and 30, which is fine. We'll end it here. We'll end the track here, at least. Take one of these ending hits and this ending hit, and let's see what this is like. Oh, and we got to bring this melody back in, of course. So. So I think that's a pretty decent quick arrangement of the track. We'll listen to the full thing, and then, I'll probably save mixing it and that for another live stream. Howard, I actually started with, I guess it was back when it was called Fruity Loops, a cracked version of it in like the late 90s or early 2000s, and loved it. I had a lot of fun with that. That's where I first learned to make music digitally. Really liked it. If you guys, I'm probably going to finish up in about 5 minutes, so if you guys have any questions, just drop them in the chat before then, so that I can answer them with latency and everything. So let's take a listen through. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with that for just a 20 minutes of work of arrangement for now. And we'll see what it does, but we do want to make sure we get this ending hit done right. So I'm copying everything over, and I'm just gonna, well, I should just delete everything to the smallest amount I can first. And then for the ending hit, all you need is this last note. So I'm gonna, oh, come on now. Yeah, sphere is something I've been somewhat on the fence about, but I think my next purchase is going to be Omnisphere. I've sort of talked myself into that, or Keyscape, I don't know. Or I should just stop spending money on instruments, but... Alright, and... So let's see what we got about this ending hit now, just to make sure we got that done right. Not sure where that little bump came from, but I like it. It's just sort of the sound of a band. One last Rhodes note here, but that's the sound of a band finishing up. So there you have it. I hope you found this interesting. Thank you guys so much for joining and participating in the chat so much. Leave a comment if you think this was useful or helpful, if you had fun. I definitely hope to do more of these live streams in the near term. So